Colin O'Keefe here for LXPN TV. As we're all aware by now, yesterday, October 1st, marked the first official day of the federal government shutdown. Joining me now to explain how this shutdown impacts employers and the agencies that govern them is Winston-Salem attorney Robin Shea. She is with Constangy and author on the excellent Employment and Labor Insider. Robin, let's get right to this. How does this impact private employers? What should they know? What are the basics of all of this?
I think the big thing, the overall big picture on this is they all got a big reprieve for a few days or maybe a couple of weeks while this shutdown's in place. The agencies that enforce the employment laws are pretty much suspended right now. And so if you had a response that was due in the next week or so, or additional information you had to provide to an agency, you got a little extension of time as a result of that. The EEOC is, I think, has about 200 employees nationwide who are still on duty. They're taking charges in, but they are not investigating the charges. They're not conducting any mediations. They're getting extensions of time for any filing deadlines they might have in pending litigation. So they're pretty much on hold. I actually got 2 dismissals that were sent out right before the shutdown began, and I'm assuming that was because they were anticipating the shutdown and just wanting to hurry up and dispose of things. Of course, it's also September 30th was also the end of the EEOC's fiscal year, so that might have had something to do with it as well. The National Labor Relations Board is really operating on a skeleton crew. They've got about 11 employees left in the United States. And so any elections, hearings, charge processing has been postponed. They did say that in a few cases you can fax documents to the regional offices, but that's all they're doing right now. And then the U.S. Department of Labor, which would include the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, which enforces affirmative action obligations, OSHA, which enforces workplace safety and health, and the Wage and Hour Division, all are included in the U.S. Department of Labor. My understanding is the OFCCP is completely shut down. They don't have anybody on duty. And then Wage and Hour and OSHA would be handling anything that would affect safety or health of employees, but otherwise they're pretty much in suspension as well.
Wow, it's wild to consider just how many things and people are impacted by this. And speaking of those people, just how severe is the impact on federal employees, and do they have any kind of recourse here?
Of course, the federal employees are the ones suffering the most from this because they're the ones who are out of work without pay. Their status is called furlough in connection with the government, but it's really the same as a layoff for a private employer. And they, I think, would be eligible for unemployment, as far as I know, for this period, as long as it lasts. And they were, I understand, instructed not to check their emails, not to check their voicemails, not to do any work while they're out. So I'm glad to see the Wage and Hour Division practices what it preaches. And so they'll be completely out. Apart from that, they really don't have any recourse. They couldn't claim wrongful termination or anything like that. They're just victims of politics, unfortunately.
I see. It is, of course, very unfortunate that all of this is happening. Once again, that was Robin Shea of Constangy. For more of her insight on this issue and other stories in the employment and labor space, be sure to visit employmentandlaborinsider.com. And of course, if you're not already watching us here on LXPN, swing by lxpn.com for hundreds more of these LXPN TV interviews, and you can also find curated commentary from the Lex Blog Network's more than 8,000 members. Thank you for joining me today, Robin.
Thank you, Colin.